Today I'm going to show you how to wind a bobbin. You might be wondering, what is a bobbin? Well, a bobbin is this, and it's what goes in the bottom of the machine, right in there. And it's the understitching on whatever you're sewing. So if this is the top stitching, the bobbin is the understitching. And winding a bobbin used to give me a lot of trouble, and I know it holds other people up as well. It's one of the first things that you need to do when you start sewing, and due to the difficulty, I feel like it stops people in their tracks, and I don't want that to happen to you. So I'm going to show you how I finally learned how to wind my bobbin, and it might not be like the exact right way, but it's the only way that I've consistently remembered how to do it. And I'm also neurodivergent and have like dyslexia-ness. So this is just what works for me. I'm going to show you how. Let's go. So usually your thread is here and winds all the way down and around. That's the top thread. Since we're going to wind the bobbin, we're going to use both of these. Okay, so I'm going to take my bobbin and take the thread that's on this, pull it out here, and then I'm gonna start by taking like some extra, and then I'm gonna wind just that extra bit around the center of the bobbin. So now the extra is all wound on there, and the thread that's connected to the thread thing over there is the long part. So now I'm going to loop the thread through this thing. See, once the thread is looped through here, I'm going to put the bobbin on this, flip it this way, and then you just want to be sure that the bobbin is the right side up, so that when, like, I always hold the string a little bit at first, so that way you know that it's going to loop on there, because let's say you put it on the opposite way, it would unwind your string and get all looped up that way, and we don't want that. So I'm just gonna make sure this is looped all the way again. Okay, so you'll just make sure that your thread actually loops onto your bobbin. And then you can start slowly, and then I usually just keep a steady speed. Your sewing machine might have something that holds the steady better, and so might mine, but I've just started like holding it like that. This is a make it work sewing channel. And you just want to get your bobbin all nice and wound. You don't have to wind it all the way up, but you know, enough. And then you can take your bobbin off of the machine. See? So pretty. Snip your thread. Now it's time to insert your bobbin into the machine. your machine might be like mine as well and have, let's see, I want to give you a good view. All right, your machine might have arrows like mine does. As you can see, it kind of gives you insight about how you should put the bobbin in there. I figured out what works for me. So you put your bobbin in. Let's see. Put your bobbin in. Whoops. Like that. Loop around and around like that. And then you probably have a little cover, so you're gonna put that on top. But I actually usually test it before I put the cover back on in case I need to situate it. So now I'm gonna loop up my other thread through the system here, which I can make another video about. If y'all want that, leave a comment. Loop it through. And then this is where, can I zoom? Let's see. Here we go. So this is where you want to hold your thread that you just looped through the needle. And then you'll spin your little spinner on the side of your sewing machine to move the needle down. And then you should see, you can kind of see the string moving in there. You should see your bobbin string pop out just like so. So now you have two strings, two separate strings. At this point, this is when I put my little plate back on. And then you can test it. And the reason you know that it works is if the stitches look good. You'll know if your bobbin is not set up right because your stitches will look wild. And then these kind of get in the way a little bit sometimes. You just move them around. Here we go. And you can see we're good because the bottom and the top stitch looks good. So once you get the bobbin, you're cruising. I think learning how to wind your bobbin and being empowered is such a phenomenal stage in the sewing journey, and I am grateful to be able to help out where I can. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. See you next time.